Hi everybody, what's up? I'm Steven.
And I'm Todd.
And we are
the Hills Maniacs. Yeah, that thing.
And in today's video, we're going to be talking about and reviewing, giving our thoughts on, things like that, of Pokemon Sword. That one. I guess technically, is the game called Pokemon Sword and Shield, or just... Because there's one of each. It's Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield.
Yeah. This is just the Sword version.
Yeah. So we bought the Sword version. It's out for the Nintendo Switch, if nobody knew about that. I'm kind of liking this game so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me too. The adventure is really great. You got a big, vast area of a bunch of different Pokemon from many different generations.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you got, like, the OG Pokemon in there. We got, like, Pikachu, Gyarados,
Vulpix.
Meowth in there. Has a beard for some reason.
Yeah, Meowth looks...
Meowth let himself go after leaving Team Rocket.
Yeah.
And then it's a nice blend with the newer Pokemon. I don't know if anybody knows these Pokemon, if these are all just new, fresh Pokemon that they just created for these games. But
I think it is. At least the starters are new.
Yeah, because I don't know if they're on the shows, but yeah, the starting Pokemon are definitely. It's not like your original like Charmander, Squirtle, and Bulbasaur starting Pokemon. Man, I miss those games. The original Pokemon. These bring back memories, and then it also helps you make new memories.
Yeah, okay, boomer. All right. Now,
I guess first we'll talk about some things we like about it, some of the new features that are actually in the game. Like, for example, it allows you to do camping. Like, you can put up a tent and things like that and cook for your Pokemon. You feed them. You can play, I guess, fetch with them, or you play with a toy or something like that. So it allows you to actually, like, take care of your Pokemon, which is something I thought was unique. It didn't really get much into that, but I don't think you can actually rest and heal them up, though. Like, if they're low on health.
What if you, like, rest in the camp?
I don't know if there's an option to rest, because all I've seen was you can cook and play with the toys, or you can call them to you and stuff, and just look at each of your Pokemon that you have in your party. But you can pretty much set up a camp anywhere. You don't get it right away, but after you are given the option to camp, you can set them up pretty much anywhere, I guess. Or you can go to other people. You'll encounter people that have a camp all around, and so you can go into their tent, which is kind of creepy.
Yeah, you can have fun with their Pokemon and stuff. And
I think it's still yours, but you can set up your...
No, I actually went into one of them.
Oh, and it was their Pokemon?
It's their Pokemon, and I think a couple of mine as well, yeah.
It's a little creepy that you can just go into other people's tents, but
I guess that's an interactive
They invite
part of the game.
you, so
I guess so.
Okay. So that's one of the new features. That's kind of unique. And then there's another one that I discovered that Todd didn't really know about at first. You can actually send your Pokemon to do like little jobs. Like there's some that require flying Pokemon to make deliveries to places, or I don't know what some of the other ones were, but I discovered this in the Pokemon Center. If you boot up your PC, you can actually, there's an option to send Pokemon out on jobs, and they'll gain XP from that and things like that.
Yeah, it's kind of like them doing like community service for you, basically.
So that was kind of a neat little thing as well. And then what's the oh yeah, the Dynamax. Let's talk about that. Todd, you want to get into that a little bit?
Oh, actually, I wanted to talk about another thing.
Okay, we'll start with
that. There's flying taxis. So what you can do is you can go from an area, say you're in the Wildlands, and then you want to go to, was it Modestoke, right?
Something like that's what it's called, I think.
Okay, you can fly there to the Pokemon Center if all your Pokemon are, like, almost fainted, and you can go there, get your Pokemon healed up, and then go back in and keep going.
It's kind of the equivalent of... In the original games, you'd have to have a Pokemon that has Fly that can take you to everywhere you've been or anywhere you want to go. But in this case, it just allows you anywhere that the taxi will actually take you. Like it puts a little symbol on the map or something. You can click there and fast travel. So it's like its own adventure game, just like Red Dead Redemption 2 or Assassin's Creed. I didn't think it was going to be like that, but it actually is, and that makes it more interesting. Especially because those are my favorite kinds of video games to play. These like open world survival sort of games like that. So that's kind of what they've made this into.
Actually, like one of my like pet peeves actually was whenever you have those big areas of water that there's like a Pokemon in the middle and you want to fight them. you can't get into the water unless you. I don't even know if there's a TM or anything that can bring you in there. Because surf, I got surf on a Pokemon, and they weren't allowed to use surf to actually like go into the lake.
It doesn't bring you into the water.
No, it doesn't.
Oh.
I don't know why. Maybe there's a specific item that you get later in the game. Maybe there's an item later in the game, or maybe my Pokemon's not evolved, like the last stage of evolving would allow surf to work. But yeah, that was one of my.
I know that would be the only thing you can do right now, I guess, is fish, and you have to see like a certain there's areas where you'll see like bubbles
like
or splashes or something, and then you fish there. It's mostly the same Pokemon all the time. Every time I do it, it's Goldeen or Magikarp.
Yep.
But okay, and another thing that they added into this game that's different from the other ones is called Dynamaxing, which you can actually turn your Pokemon gigantic.
Yep.
And battle against other Pokemon that might also turn gigantic, or they stay small, and you can just like crush them.
And that kind of relates to back in Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. You had there was this thing that you could upgrade your Pokemon like during a battle. You could do like the same thing, but it didn't like make them huge. It would just make their attacks hit harder, and they would have more HP. I forget what that's called. If you guys know it, put it in the comments.
I never played those ones, but I'm thinking more like I remember back to the Game Boy Color Pokemon games and stuff like that. All those old ones. But I'm old. I'm 25 and I'm old.
Yeah, he's pretty old.
But anyway, yeah, this one, and most of the trainers you battle, at least the gyms and stuff, when you fight the gym leaders, they actually Dynamax their Pokemon. So then it's like two giant Pokemon, like Godzilla versus King Kong, just fighting each other. That makes it a little bit more interesting and challenging sometimes, because all of a sudden they're like huge, and they can smash you.
Oh, yeah, another problem with Pokemon is that whenever you're walking through an area and there's a really strong Pokemon and you're like, I want to catch that. Say it's like level 30 or something, but your Pokemon are only level 20. Like, if you can get it down to 1 HP, you should be able to catch it.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
But
that was a problem.
Yeah, it doesn't allow you to catch it because they're strong looking. It's like if you have the capability of doing that much damage to it to get it down to 1 HP.
You should be able to catch it. Yeah, it's like no matter how many Pokeballs you throw at it, you can't catch it. I don't know. I tried to catch a Wobbuffet the other day I was playing, and it took me like 10 Pokeballs, and it still wouldn't go down. It was so I ended up having to run from it, or I think I fainted it or something. I don't know. That is kind of annoying, but I guess there must be some kind of system set up in it where, like you said, you were telling me earlier, you have to beat a gym first, and then you can start to capture the stronger I don't know how it works, but specifically, there's another feature that they added to the game was there's a whole area of I think it's called the wilds or the wild lands.
Yeah, wild areas. Yeah.
Where you're walking around. Now, normally in Pokemon games, you just walk in the tall grass until that's the only time you see Pokemon. But in this game, it's like they're out just walking about. Like there was just a Onix
outside of the grass.
There was just an Onix just like chilling by a tree. I walked by. He was moving back and forth, and you fight him. And, like they're out in the open on the side areas that you're walking through, and they will actually chase you down too. Like they want to fight. They're like, "Come fight me."
Also, whenever you're walking through the grass, it's not like a random thing. Like the originals are.
You can actually see what Pokemon for the most part. Sometimes there are ones that are hidden. Like it shows an exclamation point.
Yeah, those are a little ones. But like most of the heads are out of the grass, so you can see them and avoid them. So if you need to get to like a Pokeball that gives you like a revive or something, if you're going through you have to go through the grass and you can see all the Pokemon. You can dodge them, get the revive, and then get out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and if you already have that Pokemon, you don't want to fight them again because you already caught that one. You can just you can see. I mean, that's what the only hard part is sometimes. Like when they chase after you, they will chase you out of the grass. Like if you come running out of the grass, you'll see them waddling over to you. They only go so far. They don't like chase you all over the place. But that'd be funny. Just running from Pokemon for 20 minutes. Get away from me!
Also, one of the newer things about the gym was that before we actually fight the gym leader, we have to do these objectives that get us to the gym leader. And also, there could be some Pokemon trainers that we fight. I mean, for the first gym, I dodged most of the Pokemon trainers because it was relatively easy to get past. But there was one that it was inevitable I had to fight them anyway. But like that seemed to be a good feature, just like to get you into, I don't know, like thinking about like problem solving and stuff.
It made the gyms a little easier, but I mean it does kind of call back to the original gyms because there were like puzzles in some of those too. Like I remember one, I forget what Pokemon game it was. There was like the floor was ice and some parts would break and you'd fall down to the floor below. Then you got to work your way back up again. While also you'd run into Pokemon trainers that are there and stuff. But this one's these are a little easier. Like there's one you just have to like herd sheep.
Yeah.
To get
that's the grass one. You gotta herd the sheep.
You make them roll. You have to get them back into their little pen, and then they're out of the way, and then you go to the next area. And there's not really too many trainers to fight. But,
anything else, sir?
All in all, I'd say if I were to rank this game or give it a rating, I'd say like maybe a 4 out of 5.
I'd say like
because it's a simple game if you're a fan of Pokemon. It is, kid friendly. It's not one of those like shooters and stuff, I will say there are some hard parts, like going through the wilds and you run into like a level 30 Pokemon, your Pokemon are level 6. And sometimes you can't run. Like I encountered a Pokemon, it wouldn't allow me to throw a Pokeball at it. It just said it didn't let its guard down. You cannot throw a Pokeball at it.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about, the strong-looking Pokemon.
Yeah, I don't know.
They don't let you throw a Pokeball at it at all.
That's kind of annoying because it defeats the purpose of a Pokemon game. But if I were to give any suggestions, I'd say like buy a lot of potions and super potions and Pokeballs for the most part, and some revives. I keep spending all the money that I get in that game on Pokeballs, potions, and revives because you're going to need them. For the most part, I haven't really encountered anything where like my Pokemon's poisoned or nothing yet, or I'll just let them pass out and then I'll revive them and they won't be poisoned anymore, But yeah, and you get money and XP from battling the other Pokemon trainers as in every other Pokemon game. But yeah, so if I were to give this a rating, it'd be 4 out of 5. What do you think?
I give it a 4.25 out of 5.
4 and a quarter.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Another thing we forgot to talk about was there's like little red cave dens that you can find energy from, and like the ones that don't have a beam coming out of them, they give you 50 watts, and you can spend those watts on
I didn't understand
moves and stuff. But if you go to the one with the beam on it, it gives you 300 watts. And if you there's a Dynamax Pokemon that you can fight with your friends or just random Pokemon trainers. And once you get them down to like 0 HP, you have the chance to throw a Pokeball at it. So I feel like that's a pretty good mechanic if you want to like, I don't know, maybe challenge yourself a little bit, and then you can get a Pokemon maybe you haven't had yet. And it was also fun that you don't really play as like, I mean, you're basically like, the character you play as isn't like the original, like Ash Ketchum, where everyone plays as that. Like you create a character pretty much at the beginning from a few like templates. You can pick like there's like 5 templates or something, and throughout the game you can change your clothing or change the color of your backpack that you carry and things like that. So that's where it made it more, like I said, like an adventure type of game or survival out in the wilderness of the Pokemon world. So yeah, those were some things we liked and didn't like about Pokemon Sword and Shield. Let us know what you guys thought down in the comments. I would recommend this game if you're going to get it for somebody. Like if you have a son or daughter that likes Pokemon, this would be a good. And if you have a Nintendo Switch, because the thing about that is you can now play it on the TV. So it's like this is the first Pokemon game I think you could play on the TV. Other than, I guess, that one for the GameCube. So I'd give it a 4 out of 5. He gave it a 4.25. We'd love to hear what you guys think about this game as well. And Also, what what starter Pokemon did you choose?
I chose, what was it called? Scorbit?
Scorbunny?
Scorbunny.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. And I chose
Scorbunny.
Sobble. So type in the comments what you guys
What's your
starter
favorite
Pokemon you chose,
or even what's your favorite starting Pokemon of all time
Of all
was
time?
from over every Pokemon game. What your favorite? I'd say mine would be
Pikachu.
yeah. I don't know. You couldn't start with Pikachu in any of them.
Oh, there's actually Pokemon Yellow.
Well,
You can
yeah.
start with that, and then I think it was another.
I think
Switch
I
game
used to
that
like
was-
Bulbasaur.
I think there was another Switch game that was Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, which was a
Oh.
reference to Pokemon Yellow. Where
Okay.
you could play as Pikachu as well.
Nice.
But
Mine's Bulbasaur.
I think
I'd say.
my favorite of all time, man. I only started in Black and White. I think Oshawott was my favorite one in that one.
Oshawa.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go. There you have it, guys. That was our review of Pokemon Sword. Let us know what your thoughts are on this game for the third time. I'm going to say that in this video. And take care, everybody.